Work moves fast. From emails and reports to proposals and updates, you're expected to think clearly, write confidently, and get it right the first time. And every message counts. That's where Grammarly comes in. It gives you everything you need to think, write, and finish in one place, or anywhere you type and text. You'll never have to switch tools or tabs. Grammarly's AI agents are built for how you work and where you work, so you can find the right words, adjust your tone, and predict how your message might land before you hit send. Your ideas will get a boost while still sounding natural, credible, and just the way you want. For nearly 17 years, Grammarly has been the standard for responsible AI. It's the premier writing tool that 93% of users trust to get more work done. In a world of generic AI, don't sound like everyone else. With Grammarly, you never will. Download Grammarly for free at Grammarly.com. That's Grammarly.com.
Welcome to the Retreat Leaders Podcast, the show for visionary coaches, healers, wellness pros, and small business owners who aren't just here to host another feel-good getaway, but to build a profitable, impactful retreat business. I'm your host, Shannon Jamal, retreat strategist, business mentor, and owner of a 46-acre retreat center. I've hosted over 100 retreats around the world, and I've made every mistake so you don't have to. Each week, we'll dive into the mindset, marketing, money, business, and mechanics behind sold-out, profitable retreats. Plus, hear from expert guests who are walking the talk. Whether you're planning your first retreat or scaling your 100th, you're in the right place. Welcome to the show. Hey guys, welcome back to the Retreat Leaders Podcast. It's Shannon. This is another special episode as we gear up, getting ready for the Retreat Industry Forum. Before I introduce our guest, if you have not gotten, I'm afraid that by the time we launch this, y'all, tickets are going to be gone. As of right now, we have, I think, one VIP ticket left. And Allison, is it nine standard?
Nine standard tickets.
9 standard tickets left, but there may not be any left when this comes out. And if not, get on the Paris list because you really want to join us because we have some amazing guests like we do today that we're going to introduce you to. But I also have my buddy Allison and my buddy Aaron on today, who are our partners for the Retreat Industry Forum. So welcome, ladies, again.
Hello.
Mm-hmm.
And then welcome, Jenn, to the show.
Hi. Thanks so much for having me.
I am so excited. So Jenn, first of all, just tell everybody who you are, what you do.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Jenn Posick, the ads maven. So I help coaches and wellness professionals and retreat leaders grow their email lists, fuel their launches, and get more clients mostly through Facebook and Instagram ads. And with that, I offer done for you services, done with you services, as well as have a membership community.
Ooh, so I love that you just said two things that I think really will resonate with our audience, which is done for you or done with you. Can you tell us the difference between those two things?
Yeah, I love both so much. Done for you is kind of like typical ads management where I'm the one doing all the heavy lifting. So with that, I'm meeting with my clients like initially to like get a sense of what all the things are, but then I'm the one going in and creating the audiences. Sometimes I'm creating the copy, sometimes they are. Sometimes if they have like a copywriter, I might be working with their copywriter. And then I'm working usually with their team on creating the graphics, but then I'm uploading the ads, I'm monitoring them on a very regular basis and going in and making changes as needed. And then I meet with that client as often or as little as they need. For some clients, we have like a standing weekly meeting. For other clients, that means we're literally checking in on Facebook Messenger like as needed. So that's ads management. That's like the done for you. And then done with you, I extra love. I used to teach elementary school, and I think it's kind of like a callback to it. We hop on Zoom, they share their screen. I request the remote control, and we just work together step by step to get their ads up and running and as effective as possible. Once the ads are up and running, we're checking on them, making sure that they're doing their job and all of the things.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna giggle a little bit because you said that it reminds you of your elementary school teaching, and I feel like a fucking kindergartner when it comes to meta ads. So I can see how relevant that is when you are working with folks like us that you feel like you're teaching elementary school kids.
Oh, I can totally resonate with that because that's what Jen does with me right now. She's like holding my hand through this whole Facebook ad thing, and I'm like, "What does that mean?" And she's like, "Let me explain," and her like soft like teacher voice, and it's
Uh-huh.
great though. It's great.
I can't tell you how many times I've lost count because it happens every single time that I'm on a call with her regarding my ads. And she's like, did you just zone out? I'm like, uh-huh. She's like, you stop listening. I go, yeah, I stopped listening. I don't know what you're talking about. She's like, okay, so
Yep.
I guess we're not
Yep.
doing this together. I guess I'm doing this.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so Jen, will you give us just a small little like idea of what you're going to share at the forum?
Yeah, so I'm going to give a couple of case studies around running ads to fill retreats. So some of the ones that I'm going to be talking about are ads that I've helped run for quite a while for luxury and business retreats. And the strategy behind that, which is a very different strategy from what some of the other types of ads that retreat professionals use. And then I'm also going to be talking about one of my other clients who she runs, they're not quite retreats, but conferences. She works with, they are conferences specifically for female physicians 4 times a year, and they're like on repeat. And in her case, we run the ads very differently, and both are totally effective, but it's figuring out what works best for you and for your business. And so I'm giving some case studies to show like these are some strategies that you can use to fill your retreats. And it's really figuring out what works best for you and your business.
I
Yeah, and
love that.
what I've learned from Jen is like the strategy is also going to depend on like the price point and what is being sold and the level of commitment. So like when I'm selling a $12,000 retreat, to run an ad directly to a retreat page to then have somebody purchase the retreat, I might as well just burn my money. But when I know that in order for somebody to spend $12,000 with me, there has to be a nurturing, there
Yes.
has to be a relationship developed. That's when Jen's like, the strategy has to be completely different. You need to get them
Mhm.
on your email list.
Yep.
You need to then nurture them. They need to like, know, and trust you. You have to eventually get on a call with them. Like all of these things versus just a lower ticket type of event or
Yes.
product.
Yeah.
Yes. Totally agree with that. It's really just about, the nurturing, the getting people in your world and getting them a win and getting them to trust you.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Jen, I'd like to ask a question too. This is so again, I'm the elementary school kid that has no clue really. I've been lucky that I've had most of my success without ads. I'm now at a point of scaling, so I'm just starting to incorporate ads. And from what I understand, though, one of the things that's important before you even look at ads is your strategy, your messaging, your brand, and making sure that it is already resonating with who you want to sell
Yes.
to, or you
Mhm.
can't just throw money at the wall if you don't have all that nailed down
I
first. Is that
mean,
right?
you can, but you're gonna just waste it. I often talk about how if your funnel is not working, if you're not making sales, like running Facebook ads will just waste your money.
Yeah.
So ads are never like the first thing that you're gonna do with your business. It's one of the last steps. You need to know that like what you're doing works. You need to have a
Yeah.
business that is making money to be able to run ads that are also going to work. Because ultimately, it's like the ads can do their job, but if you're not able to sell them on the back end, like, why are you
Yeah.
running?
And
Yeah.
that's
Or
where
if
the
your product's
pause
not even a
comes in.
fit. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
Or if your product's not really a fit for the demographic you think it is, or vice versa, or whatever, like you have to
100%.
nail all that down first. Yeah. Sorry, Aaron, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and that's another reason why we chose very intentionally. We invited Jenn to come and our colleague Dora Rankin, who specializes in sales. Because you, Jenn, you work with Dora, you guys work back and forth with each other all the time. And Dora will say, like, it doesn't matter how many leads you're getting in the door if you cannot close them. And Jenn, you'll say the same thing. Well, I don't want you to put money into generating leads if you have no ability to sell them. And so making sure that not just the sales conversation, which Dora will teach on and talk about the different sales strategies at the forum, but also like if you're doing funnels, if does your tech work. I didn't start incorporating ads in my business until with you, Jenn. It was the summer of 2023, and I had been in business since 2028. And so
I think you mean 2018.
2018.
Oh, I was sorry. My first company was 2008, 2028. Wait, what did I say? I don't even know. Here we are, 2018.
Time ago.
This
A while back.
yeah, seriously. 2018 is when I established my business in its current iteration. And it wasn't until 5 years later, after exhausting all of my organic strategies, that I finally said, okay, it's time to leverage ads to expand my audience, expand my reach, and to scale. But I already had this that I knew was converting organically without any money.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
That's what I understand.
I think you have to know what you're selling, but I think you also have to be super clear on the result that you help people get, right? And how many different ways can you explain it? You got to be that clear about it.
Yeah, I love that. That's what I understand too. Is like, what is your best performing organic content that is converting already, and throw money at that, and then iterations of that, and testing it and tweaking it. I will say, so I started my retreat business when there was no Instagram, there was no TikTok. Honestly, Facebook was still fairly new. And Jenn, it was very easy to turn on an ad and spend like $100, maybe $200, and it worked really well for the elementary school kid because it was really super simple. Today, I'm sure you can learn. I'm sure you can figure it out. I'm sure I cannot. And so it is one of those things where, it's something I don't want to learn. And so I love that there are people like you who can make sure that we're doing it the right way and not wasting our money.
It's just really important to have an expert that can just keep you from making a shit ton of mistakes. Because it's not just your money, but it's your time and your energy too. And if you're going to invest in like what could potentially be a lead generation strategy or a way to get more people on your list, it's like, you have to be clear about all that.
Yeah, Jenn, my question for you is, since we've been working together for such a long time now, what has changed? Like from when you started working with ads to where ads are today, what do you see the biggest changes are? Because I feel like it changes every day and I just can't keep up.
Same.
Honestly, it does change every day. And the thing is, Facebook is literally always testing thousands of different things. And so sometimes I'll be in a client's account and I'll be like, oh, I've never seen this before. This is new. But then I'll go in another client's account and I'll be like, it's not the same. It's not there. And so sometimes the things that they test, they like take away. It's so funny. So I got started running ads in 2015. So a lot has changed, including like where you even go to like run the ads and like the basics with that and how you set them up. And oh my gosh, like back in the day, you used to use a different pixel, which is just a little piece of code for tracking what people are doing. You used to use a different pixel for like every single page, every funnel had a different pixel, which is so wild because now you just have like one pixel that you use for all of the things. That's such a funny question. It also used to be like Power Editor. So like if you were like just starting out, you used regular Ads Manager. But then if you were like knew what you were doing, you would use Power Editor, which went away many years ago. But like things that have actually like changed in like the grand scheme of things, the algorithm, it's kind of like a living thing because it's getting smarter every single day. And there are still some ways that I'm like, okay, I want to have more control over this. I don't want to give all the control to the algorithm. However, many of the ways that we run ads now are different from even just a few years ago because the algorithm knows more about how it's delivering the ads. So like one of the things that's been newer, but still in the last few years, is using dynamic creative, which is now also being called flexible creative, where you're putting multiple graphics under one ad, multiple text under one ad, and letting the algorithm decide who it's going to show which thing to. Whereas, like back in the day, you would have to do like graphic one, you'd pair with text one, graphic one pair with text two, graphic two with text one, and you'd have to test everything individually. And now the algorithm just does it for you, determines the winners, and then puts more of the ad spend behind that. And that actually works really well. Yeah.
There was
I love
something
that.
that I learned from you. I don't know, maybe I've been resistant to a lot of things, but also I've also just been like given over because I'm like, I don't know anything about this. I'm paying you. You know what you're doing. I'll trust you. But there was something that you finally said to me once, give Meta what Meta wants. If Facebook is testing out this new thing, use it because they want you to use it. And so if you're using this new tool, so many of us are like, oh my God, I hate the new tool, or oh my God, I hate this. And, we're like kicking our feet about it. And you're like, no, actually, this is your opportunity to use it. Give Facebook and Meta what it wants, because then that means that what you're doing is going to be more successful. You've
I
said
feel
that.
like they reward you. I feel like Meta
Yeah.
actually rewards you when you do that, when you kind of
Yeah.
listen to them or use their extra tool or their new thing. At least from what I understand is it's like, okay, you're taking our advice or testing our thing or you're doing it. So they kind of the algorithm almost favors you a little bit.
For the most part.
Yeah.
So
I know it's
the
not a
one
perfect
thing I will
science.
say, and it's so funny because like with like the example with like dynamic or flexible creative, absolutely yes. Like it is a way. And like Facebook is really trying to get people to use just a broad audience and let Facebook do all the targeting. And sometimes that works really well. And sometimes I'm still seeing lookalike audiences with detailed targeting work really well. And if it's a warm audience, you can't just have it be a broad audience and you can't use the Advantage Plus audience with it. So it's like to an extent. And sometimes I will say Facebook will give you, you're running ads and Facebook will give you recommendations, and 80% of those are like BS.
Good to
So
know.
there's also that.
Yeah, I
No,
would
that's
think
good.
too. I would just be interested to get your feedback on this. I would think, I've always been told by several people that it's sort of like Facebook wants you to play the game. The more you use the platform, the more you do things on the platform, the more their tools they suggest, they're going to reward you by showing your stuff to more people. I
Yeah.
would think that's true, right?
For the most part, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I know our experience with you with our forum has been fantastic. And what I love that we've talked about briefly, but I don't know that people really understand the value is the whole strategy. You've primarily worked with Aaron, but it's for our whole industry. And then Aaron's been the in-between kind of telling us the strategy behind some of the decisions that we've made in our ads for the forum.
Jen,
And
you would
I
be so
love it.
proud of me. You would just be so proud of
But
me.
she's telling us the things
Spreading
that you are
the
saying. She's
gospel,
listening.
Jen.
Yeah, but I just love the fact that there's like a strategy behind it. It's not just, yeah, let's just throw $1,000 here and $1,000 here. It's literally like, hey, if we do this and if we do this and if we structure it this way and if we test this and then we immediately look at the results and go, okay, this worked. Let's go here. My point is like you could have told me we're just here's my bank account, keep going. And I'd be like, okay. And so I love that there's like a strategy to all of this and that you're communicating that with your clients.
Well, yay. And I mean, you have to have a strategy that like that works. And the other part of it is it's like it's all testing and it's like figuring out like, okay, is this working? And looking at all the different pieces of it to figure out where could it work better.
Yeah.
So often I'll see like the ads themselves are doing their job, but then there's some part of the funnel where it's like, okay, but here's where we could make some changes to see some like bigger impact of like more people giving you money.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, Jen and I did that together. So for a while there, I had multiple companies, and the strategy that was working in one company, we tried to copy that strategy for the other, and it just didn't work in the other company. It just didn't. We had to go like a completely different strategy. And then the strategy in the initial company, it was working, but then I was like, I kind of want to make more money from it. And we played around with like some little different tweaks to the pricing of what we were selling, and then all of a sudden it took off. And with you, it's a constant test.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that what I'm hearing is that it's strategy, it's testing, back to strategy, back to testing until you really find a rhythm. And then it's monitoring that rhythm, right? Because the fucking algorithm will change or
Yep.
your business
Yep.
changes or
Yeah.
there's just changes. And so then it's back to strategy and testing and back to strategy and testing.
Yeah. And a lot of times you'll see like an ad can work really well for a good while. And then sometimes it'll just stop working because it's like you've basically exhausted the creative or sometimes exhausted the audience or like there's different things. And so then it's like, okay, let's make some edits to it. And yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. The last thing that we'll end with before we sign off is I also want to make it clear that it's a time investment too. Obviously, it's money, right? I mean, you're investing money in this, you're investing money in the services, you're investing money in the ad spend. But one thing that I find frustrating, and I wonder if you do too, is people they think that, well, I could do this for a week and it should be good. Like we're good, right? And it's like it takes a long time. I mean,
That
there's some
does.
investment there, right?
Absolutely. And I think it's like ads speed up the time that it takes from just using organic. Absolutely. And it still takes time because like you're still warming people up. You're still like growing the know, like, and trust factor. Erin, can I share some of the stats from your stuff?
Yeah. I was actually just going to suggest that you do that. Also, it also takes time as like us as leaders to learn this. And honestly, I don't think I will ever learn it ever. And that's being on the call with Jen weekly, every Wednesday for 3 years straight. I still couldn't do what she does.
Yeah, I have no desire.
But it depends so much on like your personality and your actual interests and what else you're doing in your business. Because like I also like I have some clients where like we have like a 4 month package and at the end of the 4 months, like they really can do it all on their own. And like we just check in as needed.
Yeah,
And
better,
then I
Jen.
have other clients where we meet like every week for years. So yeah, which I love.
And then I tried to do it on my own once and I deleted the whole ad set that I've had for 3 years.
I know.
Okay, you can share the stats.
So, so originally with, and I'll talk more about this at the forum, but with luxury and business retreat ads. So, Erin had found that it took people roughly 9 months to go from being on her list, getting in her world, to like deciding to come on retreat with her. And so part of what we wanted to shorten the time was the time frame to give money. And so that was when we added a low ticket offer on the thank you page and then in the welcome emails to really get people in faster. So that's like one piece of it. The other piece, though, with like the taking time, we found, Erin found when she did the numbers in 2025, 76% of her retreat attendees first came to her from a Facebook ad.
Mm, nice.
Yeah. And it
Nice.
doesn't mean that like they signed up for an ad and immediately were like, let me pay $12,000. But it does take that time, like
Yeah.
it does take that time and that like
Yeah.
growing the know, like, and trust factor and being ready for it. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I love this. I can't wait for you to share more wisdom and case studies and give the audience an opportunity to ask you questions. So, Jen, thank you so much. And we can't wait to see you soon in Denver.
Yes. Thank you so much
Yay.
for having me.
Thanks for tuning in to the Retreat Leaders Podcast. If you love this episode, please make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your retreat besties. Want more support? Grab free resources at theretreatleadersplaybook.com. Until next time, lead boldly, serve deeply, and retreat profitably.